What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another WNBA video. We have game number 4 of the WNBA Finals to dive into, going down Friday, October 10th. So we're going to break down and analyze that game. We're going to talk about which way that I'm leaning as far as the points of the spread. We're also going to go over a player prop that I found in this game that I like. And then when it's all said and done, make sure you check down there into that pinned comment. You'll find a link down there that'll send you over to the Guy Boston Sports website. It's where all of my final plays for this game is going to live for free. Before we dive into this game, let's go ahead and jump over there to the website and break down our plays from game number 3. Let's see what we put in for that one, how that ended up going down. We put 2 plays in. We go 1-1 on the night. Chelsea Gray over 16.5 points and assists. She lands at 16, so we lose this one on the hook. Took the full game total over 161.5, and that one does come through. So a 1-1 night. We split on the evening. Hey guys, I've been battling a cold these last couple of days, man. So if I look a little different, if I sound a little bit different, that is why. Well, we're going to battle through this, man. Power through this one here and go over this game number 4. Let's go ahead and do just that. Smash that like button down there for me if you can. Hit subscribe if you have not already. Let's go ahead and jump into it, man. 8 p.m. tip-off time for this one. Aces, they're 3.5 point favorites on the road here for game number 4. Total sitting at 163.5. Well, man, I told y'all I was leaning towards Vegas in game 3, right? Because, I feel like they just have too much talent on the perimeter for Phoenix to contend with, in combination with the fact that they have the best player in women's hoop, down low in the paint as well. The only 4-time WNBA MVP, but man, it was just hard to pull the trigger. We've seen this Phoenix team, just show resiliency time after time, this season, just over and over again, battling back from huge deficits. So fading them as a favorite at home felt much more risky than I wanted to get on a Wednesday evening. But plus money play on the Aces that would have cashed you out if you ended up going that route for game 3, man. They jumped out and took control of that game early, built a lead of 13 early in the first quarter, right? The Mercury, they battled back, countless times in this one. And then the Aces would pull away again. And this script just played out as such throughout the game and into the fourth quarter even. The Aces went into that final period up 17 points, but then allowed Phoenix to storm all the way back, tied this thing up, right? With seconds to play. But man, who else would step up in this kind of moment on this kind of stage? No one other than Asia Wilson, right? So she hits a turnaround fadeaway over the double team with point 0.3 seconds to play. Then Bonner missed a tough shot after that. A good look, but a tough shot nonetheless, man. And bam, Vegas has a commanding 3-0 lead here in the first ever best of 7 WNBA Finals series. And Asia just continues to dominate, man. 34 points, 14 boards, 4 assists, 3 blocks. Just far and away the best player on the court throughout this entire series. But game 3, she did have plenty of help around her as well, man. Young continues her strong play also. 21 points, 9 assists from her. Those two alone had their hands all over this game, man, combining to score or assist on 72 of the Aces' 90 points. And we keep talking about all the weapons on the perimeter for Vegas, but they just keep proving why we keep talking about it, man. Joel Lloyd was huge in this one. Set the tone early in this game, man, knocking in 4 3-point field goals in the first quarter alone. Mercury, they showed flashes, like I said, man, battling back from double-digit leads multiple times in this one, but defensively, they feel at a loss, man. Anytime they make a run, Vegas counters and makes a run of their own. And now we saw, Satu Sabali leave out in game 3, not return with a head injury. She was already battling through an ankle injury, and now she is going to miss game 4 with a concussion. That just came out a couple hours ago. So Phoenix, man, they just feel beat up physically, a little beat down mentally as well. But also, like we discussed in our video for game 3, man, they just simply feel overmatched in this matchup. And it matters in the W, man. Matchups matter here, and these trends hold up, man. The Aces and the Mercury have played a total of 7 times now this season, with the Aces winning 6 of those 7 games and only losing the first head-to-head match between these two on the year way back in June. They were also without Asia Wilson in that loss. So, yeah, man, 6-0 versus the Mercury when Asia is on the court. I'm not sure what changes in this one, man. Through 3 games, we've seen Phoenix try a handful of ways to slow this Vegas team down and to no avail, right? Without Sabally, the Aces defense can really focus in that much more on Ka and really slow down this Phoenix attack. We saw them do that in the first half, man, and Ka was struggling. She's just explosive. So she went off in the third quarter. I think it was the third quarter, man. And she finishes with 17 points, but she worked for all 17 of those points, right? And without that like explosive quarter, like I said, man, she's pretty. They stifled her pretty well, man. That defense really held up strong against her. Like I said, without Sabali out there, man, that takes a lot of focus and puts it right there on Ka. There's just not really another dominant scorer on that Phoenix team. You got people that can knock down buckets. You got AT that can distribute the ball and do a lot of different things, right? Kyle's really that only explosive go-to scorer, and that's what they need battling up against this Vegas team and all the explosiveness on that side, and they're shooting the lights out over there, man. They're shooting so well from deep. So I don't know, man. I got to lean with the Aces here to wrap this up and pull the brooms out for the sweep. It's another one that it's just I'm not quite there yet. It's a lean, you know what I mean? It's extremely hard to envision a good team like Phoenix getting swept. And I'm sure that's in their heads as well, right? They don't want to go down as the first team to be swept 4-0 in a first ever best of 7 WNBA Finals, but they didn't want to go down 3-0 either, right? They just simply didn't have enough to get it done. You can want all you want. They weren't able to get it done, and surely this Aces team wants just as much to complete the sweep and not let this Mercury team hang around, build any kind of confidence up. So, yeah, if I end up playing anything on this one as far as a side, I'll be looking at the Aces on the money line here. I don't really want to mess with points. I would just take them on the money line. For the total, we do keep seeing these two push the tempo and play with a ton of pace, right? 5 straight games have gone over for the Aces, 6 straight for the Mercury, including each of the 3 games so far in these finals. 5 of the 7 head-to-head meetings this season between these two have seen the over as well. Yet the books kept the total right at that 163.5 that we saw for game 3. Now, with Sabally out, and like mentioned before, the Ace is able to focus in that much more on Ka on the offensive side for Phoenix, man. I think that they really just fall flat at some points in this game. I could see them coming out with energy, right? Tons of energy to begin with and fight early. But I think that fades away as Vegas builds up a lead in this one, and without one of their go-to scorers, it's going to be pretty challenging to overcome. So I'm going to look at it under in this one. But with the efficiency that Vegas has been shooting with, I am hesitant with that as well. It may be worth it to look at a Mercury team total under instead or a Aces team total over even. Because what we've seen so far, the pace is going to be there. It's just, who do we trust to knock down some buckets? And right now, that definitely looks like the Aces. So yeah, there's a handful of ways that we could look at this. I'd be leaning towards a full game under, leaning towards a Mercury under, but also I wouldn't mind looking at the Aces for a team total over. Let's go ahead and jump over to Outlier. I do have a player prop that I want to go over before we get out of here. And it is touching off what we've already talked about here. Kalia Copper, her points under 18.5. You get that at minus 110 over there at Caesars. Man, it is scary to fade Ka, right? Because, like I said, she is somebody that can just explode. You see it, man. When she goes off, she goes off. But she has gone underneath this mark at a 71% rate this season, 27 of the 38 games she's played. Head to head against the Aces as well, she's gone under in 7 of her last 11 games. Now, here in the finals, we have seen her go over that mark, right? 2 out of the 3 times. Now, games 1 and 2, we saw her just go off in the first half. And like I said, Vegas really put a concerted effort into slowing her down. And without her just really like catching fire in the third quarter, I mean, she was hitting shots with the hand in the face. You know what I mean? There's not much you can do about that. But that defensive effort is what kept her under that mark, for the majority of the game, save that little spurt there where she just went off. Because, like I said, or like I've been saying, she is definitely explosive, right? But if we look at this insight from Outlier, she has failed to exceed 18.5 points in 6 of her last 7 games at home, averaging just 14 points per game in those. So definitely like to see that as well. And you can see the Aces, their points allowed sitting at 7th against that guard position. It does jump up to 4th. So where Phoenix is struggling, with that perimeter defense, the Aces are actually doing pretty solid, right? And like I said, man, I'm just going to keep going back to it. When they put that concerted effort in here in game 3, man, they really were able to lock down Ka, and that was with Sabally on the floor. Without Satu on the floor, man, all the focus is going to go to Ka. I don't really like her getting up and over that 18 point. That is going to wrap it up, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show today. I hope you found the content helpful and useful. And if you did, please don't forget to smash that like button on your way out. Hit subscribe if you have not already. And that is going to wrap us up, man. Hope you guys have yourselves a great game 4. Hope you all cash out. And if we have a game 5, I'll see you back for that one.